Hey guys, there we are. So I'm going to tea stain some paper today, and I thought maybe you might like to see this process. I don't even know how much of me you can see. This is my tea staining table with that old tea stained, coffee stained, grungy sheet on top. I use one of these baking trays and I fill it with instant tea, and or coffee, either one. Let me show you. This is just something I got at the dollar store. Sorry. Anyway, it's just instant coffee. That's all it is instant coffee. You can get instant coffee or instant tea or both, and excuse me. And just make it the strength that you like for the color that you like. That's all it is. And I make sure that I heat up the water in the microwave first. I like it hot. Well, one reason, I have peripheral neuropathy, so I'm always cold. And so the hot coffee or tea feels good. And then the other reason, I think it tea stains better. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. And then this is just plain old copy paper. It's a Georgia Pacific from Walmart. This one's from Walmart. That's all I use, just regular copy paper, nothing fancy. And I just dip it in. Ooh, that water's hot. I just dip it in and just kind of press it down and make sure it's saturated. And pick it up, let it drip off just a little tiny bit. Ooh, this table's longer than my arms. And I just start laying them out, So that's all I'm doing. So I know, riveting, right? It's just riveting. And then I just turn on the ceiling fan and I just let it dry. That's all I do. I don't use an oven. I don't use a heat gun. I don't put it out in the sun because it would probably blow away and then I'd be really sad. And so yeah, this is what I do. So if you have the room, we are empty nesters, and so we have a little bit more room than we used to because our daughter is gone. And so with this extra room, I have been able to have a little area where I can do this without like messing up the main area of the house. So I can close this room off if I want. So anyway, you can also do this outside, I'm sure. Unless it's a windy day, then you're toast, man. You're toast. I'm sorry if I look like a hobo today. It has been the most stressful couple of weeks. Let me tell you what's going on. So if you remember a few car vlogs ago, I talked about how my husband wanted me to get a different car. So I have been saving up for a year for a down payment on a different car. He wanted me to get like a small crossover, like a Honda CR-V size. So not a big SUV, but not a sedan, something in the middle. So I like the Mazda. It's not extravagant at all, but it's a big upgrade from a Saturn with crank windows, right? So, which there's nothing wrong with there is something wrong with my Saturn. I will explain that too. So that's another story. So anyway, couple weeks ago, we went and we test drove the Mazdas. There were two on the lot. I wanted a white one, and there were two white ones on the lot. One of them was a certified pre-owned model, and it had like 4,000 miles on it. And then there was a brand new one. Now, these are 2016s. Not 2017s or 2018s. This was a 2016. They were running deals on the 2016s to get them off the lot because the 2018s are about to come out. So even though it was a new car and a certified pre-owned car, they're already 2 model years old. So they were running some deals on them. We decided to go ahead and get the new one with 20 something miles on it because the warranty was better. And it wasn't that much more than the certified pre-owned one. I mean, it wasn't hardly any more, and I'm getting a better warranty. So we decided on the new one. We test drove it and parked it at the dealership, and we said, okay, that's the one we want. And we went in to do the paperwork, and when I came out, the salesman told me, he goes, check it over for scratches and that kind of stuff. And when he was in the car setting up my cell phone to the Bluetooth, which is like something I've never had before. So anyway, I saw the odometer and I said, hey, why is the odometer messed up? And he goes, oh, that's just a trip odometer thing. You need to reset that. And you know what, guys, thinking back, I should have known. I should have known, but I wasn't thinking that somebody was lying to me. What I thought is they had just filled it up with gas, and it was like, it was telling me how many miles I could go on the tank of gas. That's what was going through my head. And I just said, oh, okay, and left it at that. So I took the car home and I parked it. I still hadn't sold my Saturn, so I was driving my Saturn around, and I had parked the Mazda. Well, I finally sold the Saturn, and I was driving home from a doctor's appointment the other day, and I noticed the odometer again, and I was like, that's not right. So I pulled over, and I pulled out the car manual, and sure enough, that car has over 1,200 miles on it. I turned around and I drove straight back to the car dealer and I said, you gave me the wrong car. Oh, we're so sorry. We're so sorry. It's still a new car. It's still a new car. The salesman must have been driving it around. They're not supposed to. Here, let us give you $500 for compensation. And I'm sitting here going, I don't know where this car has been. How did this even happen? I never even test drove this car. I didn't even know it existed. And I told the salesperson, I said, you pull this car up on the screen. I want to see where it's been. So he pulls it up on the screen, and I grabbed the monitor and I turned it my way. And there was another person listed as the current owner of this car. And I said, who is Kimberly Clark? And why does it say that she traded in a Honda on this car back in February? Oh, well, her financing must have fallen through. It's still considered a new car, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? I just want my car that I bought. I said, where is the car that I bought? Oh, well, I have no idea where that is. It's not even in the database. At that point, I knew I was being had. I knew they were lying to me. And I said, you know what? You cut the $500 check and you send it to me. The reason why I did that was I wanted proof of our conversation. I have absolutely no intention of cashing the check. I just wanted it for proof. I went home. Man, this is a long story. You still with me? Still with me? So I went home and I checked they gave me an auto check report, which is kind of like a Carfax, you know, the history on the car. And I noticed there was a title number. And I called the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles, for those of you who don't live in the States. And I gave them the title number, and she looked it up, and she says, well, I can't tell you who it is. I said, well, ma'am, I know it's a woman named Kimberly Clark. And she said, yeah. She says, this car has been titled in somebody else's name. It cannot be sold as a new car. So it came down to this. For some reason, this lady had my car. I don't know if she lost her financing or, hold on, guys. Okay, I'm back. Where were we? Oh, I don't even remember where we were in the story, because that was Mazda, and this is the other thing. Mazda just told me, oh, well, it wasn't actually registered in somebody else's name. It was a failed transaction. Well, I know that's not true because the DMV told me it was registered in somebody else's name. If these guys were not being dishonest, if they were on the up and up and being straight with me, they would have said, hey, we've got a third white car with 1,200 miles on it. We'll make you a deal on it. That did not happen. They switched it with the brand new car I had agreed to buy. So I just told Mazda, I am not fixing the paperwork, the fraudulent paperwork, because my paperwork says that this car is new with 23 miles on it. It is not, so the paperwork is falsified. So the state may be investigating for fraud, and Chase Bank is investigating for fraud. So I just told Mazda, I am not rolling over. I am not taking a used car as new. These guys switched the cars on me. I said, I did nothing wrong. They're the ones that are being dishonest, and they're not even getting a slap on the wrist. That is not fair, and it is not going to happen. Absolutely, positively not going to happen. They messed with the wrong chick. That is not how I play. Mazda will not be able to force me to take a car that I did not buy. The dealership is actually in breach of contract because the bill of sale was falsified. So I can go in and cancel this transaction. I just need to know how to do that through the bank, because the bank will have to cancel the loan and get me my down payment back. So that's probably what will end up happening. The state will probably still investigate, and Chase will probably still investigate. But I don't want this car with a shady past. I have no idea what happened to it. I have no idea who. I've heard who had this car. I don't know how she treated it. I don't even know why she turned it back in. Was there something wrong with the car? I can't trust the dealership as far as I could throw them. So the DMV has advised me not to drive the car. So I have been stuck without a car for a week and a half now because I sold the Saturn, which got totaled 3 days after I sold it. It's like I had it for almost over a decade, and I've never been in a wreck or gotten a ticket, and the guy has it 3 days and it gets totaled. So there's that. So anyway, that's my life right now, guys. That is crazy, right? That is absolutely off the wall crazy. So that's what I'm dealing with. I am extremely stressed out. Extremely stressed out. Like I said, I saved for a year to put down a down payment. I don't even have that money. I don't even know where it is. I gave a check to the dealership, and guess what? They've got my money. So hopefully we will get that back. Yeah. So that's where I am. Is that not the craziest thing you've ever heard, or what? Or maybe it's not the craziest thing you've heard. We live in a crazy world, so I'm sure there are stranger things. Okay, guys. Well, you have stuck with me through this long, wow conversation. If this was too much information, I'm sorry. This is it's just so much. It's just so much to deal with. But the papers are tea stained or coffee stained. I will continue to probably do another layer on top. I don't place them exactly on top. I just kind of randomly place them over for the second layer. And I turn on the ceiling fan and I just let them dry. So that's all I'm doing. Thank you, all you guys that have pre-ordered the course. I am ordering the USB sticks. And I'm going to get those in, and I'm going to be sending out the first batch of courses as soon as I can. As soon as those USB sticks get to me, and I can load that video on the USB stick and put it in a bubble mailer, and off it goes to you. So as soon as possible, that is going to happen. My mom said she'd take me to the post office so I could mail these since I don't have a car. Okay, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.